Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Ginger Pierce, and I am one of the travel agents with Marvelous Mouse Travels. We are the agency that runs this group, as well as several others that are focused on different destinations. This is Sundays with MMT. This is a weekly live agent panel video series that we do in one of our Facebook groups every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we are so excited tonight to get to talk to you about weddings at Sandals and Beaches Resorts. So if you are recently engaged or if you know someone who has recently gotten engaged, please take a minute to tag that person in the comments or to share this video with them, because we would love to take questions at the end of the video. We have a lot of information that we're going to share, but we are going to reserve some time at the end to take your questions. So feel free at any point to go ahead and drop those questions into the comments, and we will get to those at the end. We are live tonight using a program called StreamYard, and StreamYard may ask you to approve it to display your profile picture and your username. Just know that you don't have to approve that permission. You can still post a comment or a question anonymously, and we will still be able to see it and answer it for you. So I'm joined tonight by three amazing Marvelous Mouse Travels agents. Ladies, thank you so much for being here. And if you would please just take a second to tell us your name, how long you've been with the agency, and what the best way is for people to contact you if they're interested in planning a vacation.
Hi, I'm Brittany DeMaiziere. This is actually my 4-year anniversary with Marvelous Mouse Travels today. And the best way to reach me is by messaging me on my Facebook page at Travels by Brittany.
Hi, I'm Holly Riley. I just celebrated my 4-year anniversary with the agency last month. The best way to contact me is probably my Facebook page listed at the bottom, or my email, which is holly@marvelousmousetravels.com.
Hi, my name is Brenda Tackett. I'm from Bel Air, Maryland. I just had my 3-year anniversary back in August with Marvelous Mouse Travels. You can either email me at the email address below, or you can find me on Facebook at Travels with Brenda.
And again, I'm Ginger. Compared to these ladies, I'm the newbie of the group because I am at just about 2.5 years with Marvelous Mouse Travels. The best way to contact me is gingermmt.com, which is my Linktree page. And that has all of my different social media accounts linked to it, as well as my YouTube channel, which is my primary social media profile. And that is directly youtube.com/gingermmt. So, ladies, we are in the midst of engagement season right now. I was actually looking this up online yesterday, and more people statistically get engaged between the months of December and March than at any other time of the year. And just going off of, my profile and all of the pictures that I've seen coming across Facebook and Instagram and everything since Christmas, I think that's definitely true, just from, anecdotal evidence. So it's a great time to be talking about destination weddings, particularly weddings at Sandals and Beaches Resorts. But let's start tonight with just a really broad question. In your opinion, what are the advantages of having a destination wedding as opposed to a wedding closer to home?
I think the big word that comes to mind is cost. Quite frankly, I mean, a wedding at Sandals and Beaches is free. And who can say that here in the United States? I mean, I think, what's the average someone spends on a wedding? It's got to be $25,000 and above.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine starting with free.
For sure. And then the level of stress that you don't have, because you've got your travel agent, you've got your wedding planner, they're taking care of that all for you. You just pick out what you want and it's there when you get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, and it's so pretty. I mean, who wouldn't want these crystal blue, watercolors that I've never seen before here on the East Coast anyway. And it's just a gorgeous setting, and it's just a really nice, intimate place to have a wedding. I was lucky enough to see, I visited Beaches Negril and Sandals Montego Bay, and there were weddings happening at both of them, and everybody just was having a great time, and it was just a beautiful setting, and I don't know, I think it's perfect.
Yeah. You know, we were talking about just before we went live, we were all chatting about planning our own weddings. And I made the comment that if I had known when we first got engaged what I know now about how stressful planning a big wedding would be, I would have probably eloped and gone this route, you know. But I mean, that's in my opinion, one of the advantages of a destination wedding. Because like you guys said, it is that more intimate setting. It's a beautiful setting. And you're getting to be surrounded by, you know, people who obviously love you enough to make the trek down there to celebrate your big day with you, which is really special. So we're talking tonight about Sandals and Beaches weddings specifically. So let's talk about why couples might want to choose a Sandals or a Beaches resort for their wedding, as opposed to some of the other all-inclusive resort brands out there that also have wedding packages available.
I think Brenda started it off really well with the whole, you start off with you have the option to do a free wedding. And I think we'll talk a little bit more about what is included in that, but that's an option, especially if you want to keep it small and intimate. A free wedding is a great place to start. And Sandals also offers the opportunity to test drive your wedding before you actually do the actual event. I've had clients go down and stay for 3 days and really kind of check out the resort. They can check out, you know, cake flavors and different setups and, you know, all your color palette stuff and get all that kind of situated all in a weekend and really learn about the resort where you're going to get married. And it's awesome.
I've seen some packages at some other resorts that have started. Like I've seen some for $999 starting. I've seen some for $35.99 starting. So, and that goes up from there. Whereas if you're starting at zero and you're okay with the beautiful centerpieces that they offer for free, you know, why not? So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
They have some great things going on right now too for COVID purposes, where they've got the streaming services. So if your family can't make it down or people don't feel safe traveling with you, you can still get married there and they can watch at home. So that was a really big thing to me for this time, especially people that all lost out on their weddings because of all of this. Another big thing for me with them, and I'm not sure about all the other places, but they have multiple locations on resort that you can get married. Lots to choose from: garden settings, beach weddings, over the water settings, just wherever you can basically dream of your wedding, you can have it on their property. So
that's awesome too. And definitely brides, you know, like to have choices.
Oh, yes.
If you don't want to be walking on the sand in your wedding dress, you don't have to, right? You can walk down the aisle at that over the water bungalow, and that would be beautiful as well. So let's talk about that free wedding perk a little bit. So what do you have to do to get your wedding for free, and what all is included in the free wedding at Sandals and Beaches?
So the first thing is you do have to stay 3 nights or longer. That is the first requirement for the wedding to actually be free. So I know some islands, and it does vary by the island, but I know a lot of them want you to come in at least 48 hours prior to the actual ceremony time. I know there's a name for that, and it is slipping my mind right now. It's something like a residency.
Yeah, it's a residency requirement. You're right.
Yeah, thank you. Phew. And I mean, why wouldn't you want to come in early anyway? Because that's your chance to sit down one last time with your wedding planner. Right. And, you know, a lot of brides and grooms want to bring little gifts for their clients, their wedding guests. So they, you know, can set those up and they're, you know, and just relax before the big day. Go get some spa services done, you know?
Absolutely.
So yeah, so that 3 nights or longer is the first thing.
Okay. Good to know. And what we talked about, you know, centerpieces, and there being like, what are the types of things that would be included for free? Like, what about the cake and some of the stuff like that?
So, yeah, the cake is actually one of the things it's just a 2-tier, smaller type cake. So if you want an extravagant cake, you can always add that on to your free wedding. You can always start with a free wedding base and then add on additional perks as you'd like. depending on the type of island that you're at, you may get a cocktail hour as well as different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it looks like it's the same color scheme for a lot of the stuff they provide. So, for instance, it says fuchsia and yellow orchids on top of the cake. And then you've got the bridal bouquet, the groom's boutonniere, that's fuchsia and yellow orchids as well. So they stick with, like, you know, a really nice color scheme. You do get the table setting. That's white china, sparkling crystal. They have the crisp white linens, silverware. So all of that is included. That is not an upgrade, which is neat. What else am I missing? The bride gets a manicure. The groom gets a 30-minute foot massage. Got to give something to the groom too. Those chairs in the picture that they showed, the
white cushion chairs.
Yes, that is included. So that's really nice. Now, you know, if you wanted to do a different color, I'm sure they have other color options. But
yeah.
And I think this is really neat. You do get a complimentary 5x7 wedding photograph. So one thing that I noticed when I was in Montego Bay, there was a bride who I guess had brought like a separate dress, just a plain white dress, and her groom, the next day they were getting married, they went out and the photographer took a picture of them in the water in their not real wedding attire, but it was, you know, and how neat of a picture would that be? So it'd be neat to, you know, that complimentary picture is going to be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what are some of the upgrades that are available if you're not, you know, pleased with, or you just want something a little different maybe than what's included in the free wedding package?
Who wants to take that?
Pick a person, any person.
Well, I think, you know, you can definitely upgrade to a lot more pictures and, you know, have the photographer for longer. Now, what about the DJ? I think that would be an upgrade. I'm trying to look at the.
Well, one benefit too is the more people that you invite to your wedding, they also give something called bells and whistles. So depending upon how many people and how many rooms are coming as well, the more you invite, the more bells and whistles you can have. So that can offer things like different room upgrades, a rum and game night. You can upgrade your, I know they'll charge a little bit more if you want to get married at sunset. So that may be included with bells and whistles as well. So that's something to keep in mind if you want to bring a whole bunch of people down with you, help pay for the wedding.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then another thing, if you actually stay 7 nights or more, which why not? I mean, you can get your honeymoon included too that way. But you get a lot of perks for staying 7 nights too. A lot of the islands have different amounts of money for licensing fees and whatnot. So if you stay that 7 nights, you're going to get $500 waived of that, which a lot of times covers that cost. You're going to get a $500 credit to a room upgrade. So say you're staying a club level room, you could move to a butler room. You're going to get credit towards a photo package and a video package for your wedding. And you also get a $100 certificate, which you can use for scuba, or you can use it for a cabana rental, or you can use it for a candlelight dinner for the two of you on the beach one night.
That's awesome. One thing I really like is that they allow the bride and groom to select a signature cocktail to serve as well. Mm-hmm. So I just love that. I mean, that adds that personal touch for your guests as well, that was your drink that you decided on as your cocktail.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. So in your opinion, what is the best Sandals or Beaches resort for a destination wedding?
That is not a fair question, Ginger.
So much of it depends on kind of what your style is, because each Sandals and Beaches and each island really is very different in and of itself. So you're really, upbeat and want to do lots of nightlife and that kind of thing, maybe Sandals Ochi is a really good choice. Or if you're more laid back and you kind of have more a laid back tendency, something like the Grand St. Lucian might be a better option for you. So it kind of, that's what one benefit of having a travel agent is, we really get to know our clients and we can suggest, hey, this is kind of what it sounds like you want. And then go even take a test drive and see, hey, is this resort, everything that I thought it would be? And a lot of times travel agents are really good at matching up their clients with the right resort.
Mm-hmm. I think it's important too, depending on your location here in the US as well. For us here in Maryland, we have direct flights to Jamaica and the Bahamas. So that might be an important factor for getting their guests to the island, make it really easy, fly on a certain airline that everybody loves around here. And then, so that limits us to Jamaica and the Bahamas, so I think that might come into play as well. And if you're going to have kids, if you're going to have kids that are going to be staying there, or, I've talked to a lot of couples recently who this is their second marriage and they want to do a destination wedding, but they want their kids there. So a place like Beaches and a Grill would be a wonderful place to have the ceremony. And then you can hop over a mile down the road and go have your honeymoon at Sandals and a Grill. Now they will allow kids for a day pass at the Sandals location, but it might be easier, to go to a Beaches location instead. So
I have currently now been to 12 of their properties out of their 18. So I've seen a lot of it. I've walked the properties. It's really hard to decide. Like they said, it does depend on what kind of person you are and what you're looking for. Because some of them have way, like this is going to be a beach wedding spot, or there's 4 different locations that have the over the water chapel, that kind of thing. Personally, I am in love with Barbados right now. It's my favorite. And so I think I would personally do like the rooftop at Sunset wedding at Barbados, because they have the rooftop pools up there. I've actually been thinking about a retie the knot. Don't tell my husband. No. But by the way, if you want to do a retie in the knot, that's only a $300 add-on. And then if you invite guests, you can get that fee waived too. So
yeah,
I'm already married.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Not a bad idea. My wheels are turning.
Yeah. My wheels are turning too.
So, Brittany, I think it was you that mentioned, that's one of the perks of working with a travel agent, is they can make those types of personal recommendations once they get to know you a little bit better. But what are some other things that travel agents can do for engaged couples to help them plan the wedding of their dreams?
Oh, was she talking to Brittany? Well, I think, just the fact that your guests, the bride and groom's guests, will contact us and talk directly to us, and that is off their plate. It's so much less stress knowing that you have not only us in your corner, but then the wedding planner, and then we can contact Sandals and Beaches. We have that really great relationship. So I think I know Holly mentioned this earlier too, just the less stress on them.
Yeah, for sure.
I know I had a kind of a sizable destination wedding about a year ago, and the bride and groom had booked the wedding, and then their guests were kind of on the fence, and there was a great 777 deal that came out on the absolute coldest day of the year in Iowa, where I live. And so it was really good timing, actually. So I was able to email them. I'm like, hey, there's this cool 777 deal that came out. Your butler level room is actually cheaper than your entry level luxury category. So if you want to get your guests this information, and I had so many people just go ahead and book right that day because it was cold and they wanted out of Iowa. So deal monitoring is definitely, using a travel agent, because they're not necessarily on their own unless they're really following the property.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and then, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and then I was actually going to point to you, Holly, and say, Holly's been to 12 of them. I think I'm up to 10 or so. I don't know how many Brittany's visited, but that's why we do this. We spend our own money and we travel to these destinations and these resorts so that we can see what it's like and be able to tell you, oh my gosh, we saw this great spot. on this resort. I think it would be perfect for you. I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah, exactly that. I've had people contact me now since I've been to them, and they tell me what they want, and I can picture exactly where I see them being and like what would fit them. So that's a definite perk. And like wrapping up like what you guys said, our relationship, I can email the managers and be like, hey, my couple is coming and they're going to take care of you and we're going to take care of you. And it's really stress-free and it's going to be great.
Absolutely. And Marvelous Mouse Travels was voted best of the best with Sandals and Beaches Resorts, which is, obviously a huge perk. And that does speak to the special relationship that we do have and the ability to get in touch with those managers and put a good word in for clients and make sure that, everything is prepared for you to have the best experience possible.
And I hate to bring this up, but I feel like today more than ever, you need us because things are changing every single day. The procedures and the protocols, it's easy. Let me tell you, it's not difficult to travel, but you need us to say, okay, today you need to go on and fill out this Jamaica authorization form. Today's the day. And it's an easy form to fill out, but would you know the exact day to fill that out? No, that's on us. And hopefully by the time our destination brides have the wedding, we don't have to worry about any of that. But you really do need us in your corner to navigate that.
Right. Of course. Of course. Well, even just this week, new guidance became available about testing coming in from international locations, which wasn't always a requirement for everybody prior to, when that dropped. And so that's just an example of how quickly things can change, especially right now. And travel agents, it's our job to be up on things like that.
Well, and that's a good thing with Sandals and Beaches is because they're offering that testing for free when you're there. So
they are. That's awesome. Well, let's check and see if we have any comments that have come through. I think I see one on here. Oh, hello. We were married at Sandal Scout. Oh, wow.
Oh,
So
nice.
you had one of those people.
Oh, and South Coast has the new Rondevals. I cannot wait to see those. Yeah. They would be a perfect honeymoon room.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. And I mean, that honestly, like that's in my opinion, if this were, 13 years ago and we were about to get married, I would probably be like, oh, I can do this all in one go. Like I'm not having to plan a wedding and a honeymoon. Like I can plan one thing and we're going to go down there. We're going to have the wedding. It's all going to be, taken care of. And I'm not going to have to stress over it and be, worried about details or anything like that. I've got people in my corner to help me with that. So,
let me tell you, I have 3 daughters and I am heavily convincing them all that they need a destination wedding.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important too to know what is all included too for those that do choose to stay. I mean, you have all of your food, all of your alcohol. Oh, and let me say, when I say food, it's some of the top restaurants I have ever eaten at these properties. No tipping at all, unless you have a butler. But I mean, they all wear their name tags that say, no tips, please. Your transportation to and from the airport is included. You just get all the activities. They have something every single night to do. A lot of the water sports are included. There's just so much to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for joining us tonight for Sundays with MMT. We had a lot of fun chatting with you about destination weddings. And if you would like more information about planning your wedding or your honeymoon or any vacation, feel free to reach out to any of the agents that you heard from tonight, and we would love to help you. Remember, our planning services are always completely free when you book through us, and booking through us is the same price as booking directly with the vendor because our commission is built in, whether you book with us or not. So even if you're booking on your own, you're still paying for a travel agent. So you might as well get the benefit of that service that you're already paying for either way. We are going to be live in our Walt Disney World group next Sunday at 8 p.m. We're going to be talking about a really common question over there that we've gotten lately, which is how do you do Disney World without the dining plan? So I'm really excited to get to talk about that. And then on January 31st, we'll actually be in our Destination Weddings group talking more about just general information for planning a destination wedding. So if you know that you want a destination wedding, but you're not quite sure that Sandals or Beaches is the right choice for you, definitely join us in 2 weeks to find out a little bit more about some of the other options that are out there for destination weddings. But thank you again for joining us, and we hope to see you next Sunday at 8 p.m. for another episode of Sundays with MMT. Bye, everybody.